Hardcore Lies.
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you. It is week 324 here at BodyBags. I'm your Wednesday night host, and my voice is shot, so please bear with me. I just really want to do this and not miss an opportunity to get this review in this week. So, Black freaking Sunday, Mario Bava classic 1960. I can't believe it's never been reviewed, or at least my search of it didn't see any. So I thought I'd continue my Italian November Barbara Steele gothic sort of arc, if you will. And of course that is the Kino release of this film, and if you are unfamiliar with this film, shame on you, really. But I can't imagine there's many out there, or if anyone, that's not seen this. So, but Mario Bava, his directorial debut, credited, that is. I know he's got other films that lead up to this that he's uncredited, but this is his first credited. And Barbara Steele, of course, graces the screen as two people, both Asa the Witch Vada and Katya Vada, that we'll see through most of the film. John Richardson is the young Dr. Gorbak, and Andrea Checchi, I think, is the older Dr. Kubian, who is him and the other professor there. They're professors, right? And Ivo Garrani, I think, is how you say his name, the Prince of Vada, and of course there are many others. At the core of this film, really what you have is a story, is a gothic tale of a witch who and her paramour, her lover, right, her secret lover, not so secret anymore, get burned at the stake for witchery, for being witches and delving into sorcery and whatnot. And of course, it's Asa's brother that carries out the execution. And before they're burned alive, of course, they're stamped into the flesh. And then they've got the mask of Satan that is placed over, and then with a hammer, just brought down and impaled upon their faces. And the only thing, as Asa then is put up on her, or lifted up above, as they get ready to light the fire, she will pronounce a curse on not only her brother and his descendants, but probably anyone and everyone there on scene. And then she promises that she will be back one day and to see through this thing. And it'll be about 200 years, but just before the flames are allowed to do their work, it begins to rain. And well, that just freaks out all the villagers, right? And so they have no choice now. They have to retrieve her body and bury her in a tomb where she will rest for like 200 years. At that point, I'm not going to go too much further, but at that point you get a couple professors en route through Medovia on their way. This is probably early 1800s, on their way to Moscow, I believe, for an academic convention of sorts, to hear a bunch of lectures. Their carriage will conveniently break down just near Asa's crypt, and of course they're very curious, and they will, as the guy is fixing the carriage, they'll go wander into this crypt just to kind of take a look around, look-see, right? And they will stumble upon Asa's her resting place, and they will notice real quick that there is like a stone cross that is sort of there, as he tells us, to keep her there. And there's a glass, which is really weird, but there's a glass sort of window you can look down into her, see her face with a mask on. And but through just fate and destiny, he will sort of, a bat will come in from nowhere, and as he's trying to fend it off and kill it, he will destroy inadvertently, so to speak, the cross, and then of course the glass window, and then of course he'll end up getting cut. Some of his blood will drip into her mask, and as they wander on their way out of there, of course you have the beginnings of a revivified, I guess, witch, and who has her sights on the Vada castle, and so she will shortly begin to resurrect her other and pull him out of his grave, and then the two of them will begin the process of implementing this curse. And so they're all the way through, which is just awesome. This is a castle piece, gothic horror at its absolute best. I mean, Mario freaking Bava. I mean, this, for being really his directorial debut, he knocks it out of the freaking park. I mean, he is an absolute master. And he builds some of these sets. I mean, you don't even know it's a set. I mean, he'll do these 360s, and you're just left there thinking this can't be a set, but in fact it is a set, masterfully built and executed with the camera. And he is, of course, the cinematographer on this, and he had gotten a lot of work with the camera leading up to this moment in time, and he'll continue to use the camera, whether it's Bay of Blood in 71 or Planet of the Vampires in 65, and I'm just gonna roll on down, Rabid Dog 74. You know, in a lot of his films, he will be the guy with the camera, but he will also be the director, and what a masterful director Mario Bava was. And of course his son, who would work with him, would carry that on, right? Lamberto, and we would see him, if we want to say at his height, Demons 1 and 2, as he worked with Dario, and and of course out from under him, Michele Soavi will come, right? One of my favorite Italian slashers of all time, Stage Fright. And so Mario, I mean, and he begins this, right? I mean, you're gonna have others in Italy, freaking Fulci and of course Argento and Ruggero Deodato and Margaretti and the list goes on and on and on. I mean, this is why we spend a freaking month talking about Italian horror over at the 22 Shots Moods and Horror, right? Is what they're doing all month this month. And so I thought I would just spend a couple weeks and just pick a film here and there. But what I decided on was just this Barbara Steele arc. And so, of course, she graces the screen. She's so absolutely beautiful to look at. And she'll play, of course, really the antagonist and protagonist, I guess you can say. And so her characters are very different from one another. But, man, it's still Barbara Steele. And, man, you get to... It's just, she is amazing. And I want to carry this on the next week with a film that I've never seen before with Castle of Blood. I want to say 74 maybe. I'm probably wrong on that, but ordered that today, and so I'll be getting that and looking at that for the first time. And so that's going to be fun because I've seen Black Sunday multiple times now. But man, every time I watch it, and it's the same with The Long Hair of Death, and I'm hoping the same for Castle of Blood, which I've never seen, but I've heard good things about. But this movie will just, man, this movie just, it's insane. It's just soaked with just atmosphere, and the score helps as well. But man, even without the score, this just to see it, I mean, I don't know if there's really a movie quite like this, and how incredibly awesome would it have been if something like The Nun could have tapped even more into this and been even much more of a slow burn and just worked its way through. But you know, we're different today than they were back then. And but it's 60, man. You know, these people were shocked when they saw this for the first time. And so if you haven't seen it in a while, man, pull it off your shelf, put it in there, and re-look at it. Or if you for some reason don't, oh, I dropped it. It's over here somewhere. The Kino, and of course, has a release, and Arrow, I believe, put out a really phenomenal release as well. And so here at week 324, BodyBags, as we roll on towards yet another theme week at the end of the month, I'm celebrating Italian freaking horror with some Mario Bava this week. And we'll roll on, right? So 1960, Black Sunday. Just an absolutely masterful work from the master himself. And he is one, right? He is one. So as always, we'll just go ahead and end this thing, give my voice a break. We'll always end this with Go Freaking Bills.